Cleveland Browns face defining crossroads as Kevin Stefanski pressured to make bold Shedeur Sanders' decision after GM's blunt rebuke. The winds of change are blowing through Berea, Ohio, carrying with them the echoes of Cleveland's long and turbulent history with quarterbacks. For the Browns, the position has never been just a job. It's a saga, a lineage of both promise and heartbreak, a carousel that never seems to stop spinning. And as the 2025 training camp unfolds, head coach Kevin Stefanski stands at yet another crossroads. But this time, the stakes feel different. This time, the voices calling for change are louder, the spotlight sharper, and the future more tantalizing. Among those voices, ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky's words have landed like a thunderclap. "I do not think all four should have the chance to start," Orlovsky said bluntly on air. "If I was Cleveland, I would be doing everything I could to have Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders as my starting quarterback." A bold statement, no doubt, but one that has ignited a wildfire of debate across Browns Nation. The weight of Cleveland's quarterback past. To understand the tension swirling around Stefanski's quarterback dilemma, one must understand the emotional terrain of Cleveland football. This isn't just another city. This is a football cathedral built on the backs of men like Otto Graham, Bernie Kosar, and yes, even the heartbreaking near misses of Brian Sipe and Tim Couch. The Browns faithful know pain. They know the heartbreak of high draft picks who never lived up to the hype of once promising stars cut down by injury, inconsistency, or incompetence. So every time a new quarterback puts on the orange and brown, the weight of history presses down. That's why Orlovsky's comment wasn't just an opinion. It was a challenge to tradition. The OTA snapshot. A subtle hierarchy. At the heart of the current conversation lies the early OTA, organized team activities, quarterback order. Kenny Pickett took the first team reps, followed by Joe Flacco, then Dylan Gabriel, and finally Shedeur Sanders. It may have seemed procedural, just a way to ease rookies into the mix. But for analysts and fans alike, it told a story. Pickett and Flacco represent the known. Pickett, with his modest 15 TD to 14 INT career, has proven steady but unremarkable. Flacco, nearing 41, is a relic from another era. A Super Bowl champion, yes, but one whose arm is no longer what it was. In contrast, Gabriel and Sanders are wild cards, but not without promise. Dylan Gabriel, the quiet assassin. Dylan Gabriel has been described by some in the building as the most NFL-ready rookie no one's talking about. The left-handed phenom from Oklahoma and UCF is college football's all-time leading passer with a jaw-dropping 18,722 yards and 155 touchdowns across 63 games. He's shown poise in camp, executing Stefanski's complex system with the calm of a seasoned veteran. His quick release, smart decision-making, and ability to manipulate defenders with his eyes have made an impression. "He's like a point guard out there," one coach whispered anonymously. "You give him the ball, and he runs the offense. It's that simple." But for all his polish, Gabriel lacks the media shine and controversy that swirls around Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, brilliance and baggage. Sanders, the son of Deion coach Prime Sanders, entered the NFL draft with enormous hype. A Heisman Trophy finalist with 4,134 passing yards and 37 touchdowns in 2024, his college resume sparkled like his game day chains. But something went wrong on draft night. A projected first-rounder, Sanders slid all the way to the 5th round, 144th overall. Analysts scrambled to explain the fall. Was it character concerns? Arrogance? Overhype? Whatever the reason, the slide cast a shadow. And then came June. Sanders was cited twice for reckless speeding, clocked once at 91 miles per hour in a 65 zone, and again at a shocking 101 miles per hour in a 60. Browns general manager Andrew Berry didn't sugarcoat his response. "Not smart. Just not smart," Berry told reporters. "We've addressed it with him. He understands the implications. It's not just about yourself. You could injure other people." That rebuke didn't just sting. It dropped Sanders further down the rep chart, from potential QB2 to battling Gabriel for QB3. Stefanski's dilemma. Safe or bold? So here stands Kevin Stefanski, clipboard in hand, staring at a decision that could shape not just the 2025 season but the entire trajectory of his career in Cleveland. Does he go with the familiar, Flacco or Pickett, for a season of stability and potential mediocrity? Or does he gamble on youth? This is a high-stakes decision, said NFL Network's Peter Schrager. If Stefanski starts the season 1-3 with Flacco or Pickett, the fans will lose their minds. If he loses with a rookie, at least he's building for something. Sanders offers flash, arm talent, and a massive upside, especially in Stefanski's play action, under-center scheme, which Orlovsky insists is tailor-made for Shedeur's style. Gabriel, on the other hand, may lack the dazzle but brings system mastery and relentless efficiency. He's like a Toyota Camry, unsexy but dependable. So what does Stefanski want? Fireworks or fundamentals? The dog pound wants a revolution. Make no mistake, the fans are watching. The dog pound isn't just showing up for tailgates anymore. They're plugged in, opinionated, and increasingly vocal. On Reddit, Twitter, X, and sports radio, the sentiment is clear. Give us something new. Many argue that Cleveland's obsession with veteran placeholders, think Tyrod Taylor, Jacoby Brissett, and Case Keenum, has led to nothing but wasted years. If Stefanski trots out Joe Flacco in Week 1, we riot, one fan tweeted. Let the kids cook. The youth movement is more than a trend. It's a cry for identity, for purpose, for hope. Sanders versus Gabriel. More than just stats. This isn't just a numbers game. This is about charisma, leadership, and narrative. Shedeur Sanders walks into a room and owns it. His father, Dion, made sure of that. His media presence is unmatched for a rookie, his nil earnings already in the millions, and his social media following rivals that of some Pro Bowlers. Gabriel, quiet, reserved, coachable, the kind of guy who wins over teammates in film rooms, not press conferences. But NFL locker rooms value both styles, if they lead to wins. The roster math. Here's the reality. The Browns will likely keep 3 quarterbacks. Flacco is aging but brings leadership. Pickett is on a rookie contract and has game experience. Gabriel and Sanders? The future. Unless injuries or trades shake things up, one of these rookies will be the odd man out on game day. Which means Stefanski's decision may not just be about who starts, but who stays. The wild card, Deshaun Watson's absence. Lest we forget, Deshaun Watson, the man Cleveland invested $230 million guaranteed into, is still on the roster but absent from the conversation due to injury and off-field concerns. His shadow looms over everything. If he returns to form, this debate becomes moot. But if he doesn't, the franchise will need a fresh face fast. That's why the development of Gabriel and Sanders matters, not just for 2025 but beyond. Closing argument. What future will Stefanski choose? There comes a point in every franchise's journey when playing it safe is the riskiest move of all. For Kevin Stefanski, that time might be now. Choosing between Gabriel and Sanders isn't just about metrics or maturity, it's about philosophy. Does Cleveland want to cautiously chase a wild card berth with stopgap vets? Or does it dare to dream big and build something lasting? The pressure is mounting. The fans are restless. The front office is watching. And the quarterback battle in Berea is just heating up. Final thought. Shedeur Sanders may not be perfect. Dylan Gabriel may not be flashy. But both offer something Cleveland has lacked for far too long: direction. And in the NFL, sometimes the biggest wins come not from avoiding mistakes, but from making a bold move and owning it. Kevin Stefanski's next decision will echo through the halls of Browns history. Let's hope he chooses to make some noise. Shedeur Sanders forces Cleveland to pay attention, but Kevin Stefanski refuses to blink. In the relentless chess game that is NFL quarterback management, Cleveland finds itself teetering on the edge of another seismic decision. As the Cleveland Browns navigate their 2025 training camp, the spotlight has slowly shifted from the expected veterans to a new, surprising contender, rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Drafted as the 144th overall pick, Sanders entered the Browns' locker room with quiet determination and a mission inscribed in the words of head coach Kevin Stefanski himself. Prove all the people that passed on you wrong. It wasn't a challenge flung carelessly into the wind. It was a test, one Sanders has taken to heart from day one. And now, the results are beginning to shine through the gray Ohio clouds. During early OTAs and minicamps, Sanders found himself working with the 4th and 5th teams. It wasn't glamorous, and it certainly wasn't where many thought the Heisman finalist quarterback would land post-draft. But rather than complain, he worked. In 2 open OTAs, Sanders completed 16 of 23 passes, delivering 6 touchdowns and throwing just 1 interception, an efficiency unmatched by his competition. Analysts took note. ESPN's Daniel Oyefusi declared, "Shedeur Sanders really did stand out. All of those skills that we talked about pre-draft, the poise, the accuracy from the pocket, we saw that. His accuracy was not theoretical. It was visible in real-time reps. His rhythm, mechanics, and decision-making, often called into question by critics, were proving NFL ready." And Sanders didn't stop there. During the summer break, he made a calculated move not to relax but to sharpen. He flew to Miami to train with Darryl Colbert Jr., his quarterback mentor since middle school. This wasn't a vacation. It was war prep, footwork drills, deep ball timing, playbook mastery, everything done with one purpose in mind: to rise. That effort bore fruit. Fast forward to Friday's training camp, and Sanders was lighting up the field. He threw 3 touchdowns, but it was the precision, not just the production, that stole the show. One throw in particular had the field gasping. Scanning left, seeing coverage collapse, Sanders quickly looked right. Deontay Johnson, Browns receiver and former Steelers star, was in motion. Sanders let it rip before Johnson even turned his head. The ball landed softly into Johnson's hands. Touchdown. It wasn't just a great throw. It was art. And it echoed the scouting reports written months earlier. Elite accuracy, surgical ball placement, natural poise under pressure. Despite all this, the Browns' depth chart hasn't budged. Joe Flacco, 40 years old and long past his prime, remains at the top. Kenny Pickett, serviceable yet unspectacular, sits next. Rookie Dylan Gabriel, efficient, no doubt, follows. And Sanders, still battling from the bottom. Head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked if Shedeur's outstanding Friday performance would shake things up. "Can't promise any changes to the rotation going into Monday," he said. The statement, calm and calculated, sparked waves among Browns fans and analysts. What more does Sanders need to do? Statistically, he had the best camp day of all quarterbacks. 8 completions on 11 attempts with 3 touchdowns. Flacco had none. Pickett had 2. Gabriel had 1. And yet, Shedeur remains the 4th option. But Sanders? He's unmoved. Asked about his reps and chances, he calmly replied, "It's not in my control. I just focus on my routines, my growth, and let the rest fall into place." That maturity isn't accidental. It's the product of years spent under the public microscope, being Coach Prime's son, being the face of Jackson State, then Colorado. It's the mentality that separates long-term leaders from temporary starters. And yet, Shedeur faces another subtler challenge: team dynamics. The very receiver he connected with on the field Friday, Deontay Johnson, has publicly voiced support for Kenny Pickett as the team's QB1. Their chemistry goes back to their Steelers days in 2022 and 2023. For Johnson, Pickett is a known commodity, a safe pair of hands. "I think they're probably going to roll with him, Pickett," Johnson said. "He's coming off a season with Philly and having a Super Bowl. Then, they can live with Joe and what he brings to the table." Translation: Sanders may be winning reps, but he's not yet winning hearts. And Pickett has responded with equal admiration. He once described Johnson as a really smart player. He knows how much time he has to get open. He has the best stop-go ability I think I've ever seen. Their bond was forged in reps, film sessions, locker room laughs, and sideline battles. For Sanders to take over, he'll have to break into that chemistry. A daunting task for any rookie. Still, Sanders has advantages others don't. He's younger, sharper, hungrier, and while Pickett may be known, his ceiling appears limited. Flacco, though experienced, is aging out. Gabriel is technically sound but lacks Sanders' explosive edge and leadership aura. Sanders doesn't just make throws, he creates moments. Moments like that 30-yard laser to Johnson. Moments that turn practices into auditions. Moments that echo through film rooms and into coaching meetings. But Stefanski is methodical. He doesn't react emotionally. He believes in process over panic. So even as Sanders shines, the pecking order remains unchanged. Yet NFL history is filled with stories like this. The undervalued rookie, the crowded quarterback room, the vet who overstays, the moment the rookie forces a coach to make the uncomfortable choice. Think Tom Brady behind Drew Bledsoe, Russell Wilson over Matt Flynn, Brock Purdy behind 3 others. That's what makes this story so tantalizing. The numbers don't lie. The eye test doesn't lie. The future is knocking, but Stefanski hasn't opened the door. Still, time remains. The preseason is coming. Reps will increase. And every time Sanders touches the field, he makes it harder for Stefanski to ignore him. There's a saying in the NFL, if you're good, they'll find a spot for you. Shedeur Sanders isn't just good. He's ascending. And while nothing is set in stone, momentum is building. The fans see it. The teammates feel it. The media is buzzing. And even if Stefanski's lips say no change is coming, his eyes are watching. For Cleveland, a city burdened with quarterback curses and almosts, Shedeur Sanders represents something it hasn't had in decades. A quarterback with talent, swagger, intelligence, and charisma, all wrapped in one. The Browns' future is calling. The only question now is, will Stefanski answer?